Hey guys, Sci-Fi Guy 2094 here. I'm going to be doing a quick rundown of Dune Prophecy Episode 2. So I'm going to do a rundown of like the three main plot points, just like real quick, and what I thought of this episode overall. So first plot point I'm going to go over is the one with Desmond. So Desmond he's in custody now because, it's been revealed that, he was the one behind the murder of the little prince boy from the first episode, as well as one of the truth sayers. So basically, he gets questioned by the emperor, as well as his wife, and of course, like Valia Harkonnen, and she's like the main truth sayer, the main character, basically. Um, so basically they question him. They're trying to figure out like what is he here for? Like what is his end game? He's always just saying, my purpose is to serve the Imperium. And the reason they don't execute him is because basically the Emperor's wife, if you guys know Mark Strong, the guy who's playing the Emperor, she believes that he can still be of some use to them, that he could probably take down some of their enemies or any, impending threats to the Imperium. So, they don't execute him, they keep him alive. And, they just question him. And then, of course, they basically suspend him back in prison, And this prison, they're kind of just like, they have these things put on them, and then they kind of just like levitate up. And there's like a big, kind of like it's almost like a round, kind of just like a huge kind of column, I guess you would say, um where they're just like floating, and then like there's these circular walls around them. So that's kind of like what their prison looks like, at least for this guy. So that's the main plot point. um and then another plot point in this episode was we find out that the trainer, like the sword master guy who's training the emperor's daughter, he's actually part of a growing, I don't want to say insurgency, but kind of like rebel groups who are mobilizing, and they're planning some things against the Imperium. And the reason they're wanting to do this is because they believe the great houses, as well as the emperor, have become very just too powerful and greedy, and they're not giving enough resources to like the common people. The great houses basically control spice production, and the emperor oversees all that, and they're all profiting, and then everybody else is kind of just like left behind. So they kind of want all the wealth and all the resources and all the benefits that the great houses are benefiting from to be um, kind of to be, I guess you would say, evenly distributed among like normal people, to where like they can live, decent lives. So that's kind of like the other plot point, and we do see that he actually maps out the entire um he kind of maps out the entire temple, I guess. He has like this little machine, and he sticks it in like, I don't know, it's like some type of air vent or some type of cavity. And basically he's able to like map out the entire I guess you would call it like where the emperor stays. I don't know if you call that his temple, or just like the the main Imperium building, or I don't know if they call it the capital or whatever. But he maps that out. He takes it back to kind of his little rebel force group, and they have this map now, and again they're going to keep kind of planning their um I guess I don't think they're going to do like a full out like military like attack on the Imperium. I don't believe so, but they're planning something, so we'll have to see what happens in episode 3. And then The last plot point was kind of cool in this episode. So, this one revolves around the sisterhood of the truth sayers, and they're trying to get this one girl who is a descendant of basically I forget what they call her, but she was like the grand truth sayer lady, like the super high up lady who was like the founder. And she was the one on her deathbed where she chose Valia to be like the new head of the truth sayers. Basically, she's the one that was having the visions, and she wasn't sure what it meant. And so now her descendant is one of the truth sayers also. So what they're trying to do is unlock genetic memory. So they're trying to get her to go through this, I guess you would call it kind of, it's not even really like a trial. It's kind of like this weird type of test ritual type thing where like they put this poison in her eye, and she has to kind of like dissipate the poison by rearranging the molecules. It's honestly, it's kind of weird. I don't fully understand it, but anyway, she actually is able to see her ancestor, but she's doing well at first, but then unfortunately she does die. And that was always like a risk that, she could possibly, die during this. So unfortunately she does die. And, they don't really quite get the answers that they were hoping for. And then at the end, we see Valia Harkonnen. She's kind of questioning Desmond when he's not in jail anymore. He kind of, I guess they, yeah, that was at the very end of the episode, right? Yeah, because initially they suspended him back up in jail, and then I guess the Emperor's wife just like let him out. But anyway, at the end, she's questioning him, and she's she doesn't trust this guy. Obviously he's bad news, and she tries to get him to kill himself by using the voice, because she knows he has a dagger, and he takes out his dagger, because she's using the voice on him, and she's like, plunge your blade into your throat, and he doesn't do it. He can resist the voice. So this guy's pretty formidable. He can actually resist the voice of the truth sayers. So pretty bizarre. Most people aren't able to do that. So anyway, that's a quick rundown of episode 2. I thought it was a good episode. I give this 1 thumbs up. It was good, but it was not as good as episode 1. So that's my review, and I'm a little bit behind. I gotta get on episode 3 and then get a review out for that one. So I will be back soon for that review, and I'll see you next time.